Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, December 13th. I have to check my watch, as I pretty much have to check every single day. I never kind of know what date it is. I never really need to write down the date or use the date. I'm just kind of lost in an endless flurry of days that just fly on by. If it wasn't for the live stream, I probably would have very little idea of what the dates actually are. Well, I mean, that's not true, because sometimes I have to look at the calendar for like when races are and stuff like that. So I guess I'd have some idea. All right, today for Monday Mukbang, I do have something for us today. I wasn't sure if I was going to have something, and then I got back from my run a little bit late, and I was like, oh boy, I really don't have anything. But then I totally forgot that my wife got a gift from work, and it's something that she couldn't eat. And so I'm going to eat it. Today, I'm going to be eating this. It's a giant box full of fancy biscottis. I may have already sampled some of them, but I don't think we're going to eat the whole box today, but we'll go through some of this box. First, before we do that, let's say hi to everyone listening in on the podcast. Hope you have a good run out there today. Lately, the weather in Chicago has been very mild. It's been windy, but relatively mild. And today was just a nice day, not that windy, less windy than the last couple of days have been. And it was just really nicely sunny. So really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys are getting some nice weather too. I know that there's been some pretty crazy weather that has gone through a large portion of this country. If that has affected some of you guys, hopefully you guys are doing okay. And let me know if you're okay, if that is something that went through your area. All right, everyone listening on or watching on YouTube later after the fact, hopefully you are sitting back with a nice recovery beverage. I've got my afternoon coffee, a nice fresh cup. It's super tasty. Hopefully you guys have something tasty to drink and are relaxing. All right, let's see what we have in the chat. Frank says, it seems like a big takeaway from the desert solstice is that we should be aiming for negative splits even for 173 miles. Yeah, that was pretty incredible. Some world records were broken. Was it world records were broken? Nick Curry broke was it the world record, American record for 24-hour running, which is pretty, like, it's just brutal considering it's run around a track. Camille Herron won for the women, which I thought was pretty cool too. And you know what? I can't stop thinking about? Nick Curry is Jamil Curry's brother, right? So can you imagine being Nick Curry, being Jamil Curry, who is a really good runner? I mean, he just won like second place at some race, like a couple of weeks after was it like last weekend or something like that? He does really well in his own right. But can you imagine like being arguably the second best, being Jamil Curry and still being the second best runner in your family? I mean, that's that's just got to be impossibly hard. But yeah, just watching some of the coverage, I was like, oh, I don't know how they cover this for 24 hours. I mean, yeah, I can talk for a long time, but I don't think I could do a 24-hour coverage of anything. I don't know how they did that. Incredible. All right, let's jump ahead because I see we got some super chat in here from Michael Sesser. He says, happy holidays. Thanks so much, Michael. I appreciate it. He says, what is your favorite non-Nike long run trainer? Favorite non-Nike long run trainer? Right now, I'm really enjoying the Triumph 19. But I'd probably say the Fresh Foam More version 3 is my favorite long run trainer. If I'm not worried about speed. If I want to go a little bit faster but it's still a very long run, I don't know. I think I probably would then lean back towards the Triumph 19 for a very long run. But then if it's a very long run with some speed in it, that changes. It could be something like the DV8 Nitro I've been really enjoying for longer runs that have a little bit of like marathon paces in it. It's going to have a lot of marathon work or even faster, then I might go to a carbon plated shoe. But I'm thinking, the Fresh Foam More version 3 is pretty incredible. So I like that one. All right. So Nick Curry has the U.S. record, says Frank, and C-Town Fan also correcting me that it was an American record. Thank you very much. All right. Leona's got some Japanese tea today. Awesome. Very cool. Let me know what else you guys are drinking today. All right. I think I skipped a lot of the chat up at the top, so I apologize for that. I'm already down here, so I'm going to stay down here. Sinan says, Jamil would be better if he trained more. I think that's funny. That just sounds really funny for a guy that's like, he's like always running. All right, here's one of the biscotti I'm going to eat today. It looks like it's got white chocolate with some darker chocolate on top. I have had one of these, but like one of them earlier. They're pretty good. Not today, like the first day she got them. These are tasty. Oh no, these are fruits on top. It's not chocolate. I mean, there's some chocolate. It's like white chocolate, a dried fruit that I can't tell what it is. I don't think it's a raisin. Maybe it's like a piece of date or fig, maybe. It's really small, but it's nice. I wasn't expecting the fruit. Yeah, Frank says, it seems like the Currys have each carved out different kinds of goals. Jam Jam has his Barkley focus. Yeah. I can't imagine like what their like. Do they do a turkey trot every year? And what is that like? Can you imagine like the Curry family turkey trot? It's probably like a 50K. They're like, all right, now we can go eat Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, Michael says for his request for the long run shoe, speed is not a factor. So yeah, I would go with the Fresh Foam version 3 because that one I could just run all day in. And lately, since I'm not running in the Fresh Foam 3 anymore, I've been just reaching, especially like recovering after a marathon. I've been reaching for the Triumph 19. I don't think it really changed that much from the Triumph 19 to Triumph 18, but I think me as a runner, I got more sturdy, I guess, in terms of my lateral muscles. And so the Triumph 18 last year, I felt like really bothered my knee a little bit. Triumph 19 doesn't bother me at all. It feels great. I'm just really enjoying the feel there. So it's kind of like the Fresh Foam version 3, but a little bit more on the daily trainer side. So it's a little bit like more manageable. Metal Cat says, I'm a pretty new runner and still I'm going to start training to run a half marathon starting next year. Awesome. At what time or distance should I start looking at using gels? I would say if you're going to be out there for like, it depends. For me, I've been doing a lot of hour-long runs, and for an hour-long run, I usually don't need to use a gel if it's just an easy run, or there's just a consistent pace run. If it's going to be maybe an hour and a half, I might think about it. In the summertime, I'm more likely to do that than in the wintertime. Again, it depends on the intensity. So maybe like 60 to 90 minutes is when I might start thinking about it. And so that's kind of like not a hard and fast rule, but depends. If there's going to be a workout, then if it's going to be a longer workout, then I might do like a warm up and then take a gel before the first, or like before I start doing the workout, that kind of thing. Or I might take one in the middle of the workout. But that's all going to depend on how long the workout is. But if we're just thinking about like timing and being out there on just like a steady pace run, I'd say after an hour I would start thinking about it. But if it's pretty close to an hour, then I don't know that you necessarily need it. All right, looks like my mom's here. Everybody, my mom did text me the other day, or I think it was this morning, and she was like, "Did you get a haircut? It looks nice. Thank you for getting a haircut." So she's very happy about the haircut. She's been wanting me to get a haircut for a long time. So I'm still getting used to the haircut. I kind of wish it were long still again. So I kind of regret getting the haircut, or at least getting it cut as much as I wanted to. Did I tell you guys about that story? So I didn't tell you the story about the haircut. Next one I'm going to try is this one. It looks like it's got a little bit of like cookie dust on top, like white chocolate, and then like some, it looks like Oreo filling on top, and then maybe it was his pine nuts. It's not. No, the pine nuts are from its neighbor. These are intruders. Oh, that's not a pine nut. That's a sesame seed. But anyway, this one, I'm going to try this one next. So the story with the haircut. I go to this place. First, I went to Gabby's, my normal haircut place. And in the almost 2 years since I've last gotten a haircut, a lot has changed at a barbershop, which makes sense, but I had not anticipated that. And this place used to be no reservations, no appointments. You come in, you write your name on a chalkboard, and then you just wait. If you want a specific barber, you put their name down, and then right next to your name, and your wait might be longer depending on how long that barber has of a wait already. So I go to this place in the middle of the day on a Tuesday, thinking that on Tuesday is going to be a great time to go. I go in there. There's no one waiting. All the chairs are full, but no one's waiting. And I sit down. And they're like, "Are you Nick?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not Nick." And they're like, "Oh, Nick's got the next appointment. We're by appointment only now, and we're full for today." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know." And I was kind of like waiting for her to be like, "Would you like to make an appointment for like next week or next month or whatever, how far backed up they were?" But they were just like, "No." They didn't say anything. So I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll leave now." So I left and I went to Great Clips up the street, which is, not my first choice, but I wasn't going to be happy with the haircut no matter where I went. So I didn't think it really mattered that much. And I don't know if it was actually a Great Clips or not. It was just something like I forget, franchised haircut place. I don't remember the name. It might be Supercuts. It could be. So I go there and I sit down. He's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "It's been 2 years since I had a haircut. I want to cut a lot off, but not all of it." And I tell him, like, I still want to be able to like tuck my hair behind the ear. So like it has to come down to like, a little bit past my ear in the front. And in the back, I want it to come down just right above kind of like where my neck hits my shoulders. And he's like, "You want it short like mine?" And he had like a regular, like, well, basically had this haircut. He goes, like a regular middle-aged man's haircut. I said, "You want it short like mine?" And I'm like, "No, I do not want it like that." He goes, "Okay, good. I got you." First thing he does, he cuts the back ponytail, like Coming to America. When Eddie Murphy goes in, he's like, "I want you to cut my hair like a normal American man's," and just cuts the ponytail off. And he's like, that'll be $20. Like he did that first, and then he cut the rest. And I was like, "This is going way too short. I know it's going way too short, but I'm elbows in at this point. So, oh well, it'll grow back. I think it looks fine though. It was shorter than I wanted. All right. Tate Davis says he's working through shin splints right now, trying to heal up. All this run talk is making me all the more excited for the first run back. Happy holidays to all. Well, happy holidays to all. Indeed, I enjoy that sentiment. Thank you so much, Tate. And I hope the shin splints resolve quickly. I mean, I don't know. I always thought that they said you could run through shin splints, but I'm not sure. And then, how do you differentiate between shin splints and like running through it and getting a stress fracture? I've never really quite understood, but I'm sure you're on top of it. And I wish you a quick recovery. All right, now I'm going to try the one with the chocolate and the sunflower seeds on top. The one that was hopping on to the next door neighbor. That last one had a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't know. Maybe my palate was not sufficiently cleansed in between these biscotti, but it tasted like cookies and cream biscotti. These biscotti, the cookie part is nice. It's very like light and crispy. A lot of times biscottis are like crunchy, like a stale piece of bread, but these are actually really good. Linda says, first time using gels was for a 2 hour and 25-minute long run. Not disappointed. Great. Yeah. There you go. That for 2 hour, anything nearing the 2 hour mark, I would definitely bring at least a couple gels. I'm trying to think. The last time I went running with my running buddy, I think we were out. We usually go out for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think we were out there for an hour and a half, and neither of us brought gels or water. But it's been chilly, so like if we're just going out there and chit chatting the whole time, I don't think you really need it. But yeah. But for a 2 hour 25 long run, yeah, I would definitely bring at least a couple gels. All right. Tiba says, happy Monday. Completed my first marathon yesterday in the hometown of Dallas. 40912 using the Hal Higdon Novice 2 plan that you recommended. Oh, cool. Calf cramps at mile 23 killed the sub 4 hour time. Well, that's a bummer. Yeah, there you go. Great job on finishing your first marathon. That's a great time for your first one. Calf cramps. Do you think it was a hydration issue? Like if you had taken more fluids during the race? Was it hot in Dallas last weekend? I'm trying to think. But great job. Very good job. Pedal Andy Pedal says, ran 19 miles on Friday. Longest run so far. Awesome. He had to answer a phone call at mile 16 for a few minutes. Resuming the run, holy crap, I was tight. Assuming that gets better in time, stop, start, equals no joke. It doesn't. But starting and stopping is really hard on the body. Especially if you had a phone call that lasted a few minutes. That's enough time for the body to like, for everything to start kind of like cooling down a little bit. So that can certainly be it. And the longer or the later into a run you have that stop, the harder it can be. Now, certainly people can get used to it where it's better. For example, like if you're doing those, um, like an ultra trail race where it's super long and you're going to be stopping at aid stations for several minutes at a time for the course of like a day, you get used to it. But um, something that you train for. But if 19 was your longest run so far, stopping at mile 16, that's pretty intense. And so the fact that you were able to carry on for another 3 miles makes it all the more impressive. Great job on your longest run, Andy. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. Dr. Josh, what's going on, man? He says Great Clips used to be first choice back in the day. Yeah, I used to go to that same Great Clips a lot. Like I've outlasted many a barber in that Great Clips location, which is always kind of like gives me pause because I'm like, how come they can't hold on to any barbers for more than like 2 months at a time at this place? But all right, this one, do you guys remember strawberry eclairs, like the ice cream? They used to sell like strawberry eclair ice cream at schools. This stuff looks like the outside of that. Now they had chocolate eclair ice cream and strawberry eclair ice cream. I would never get the strawberry. I always went with the chocolate. I thought that the people went with strawberry were like just something was wrong with them. But I don't know what is this cookies? It looks like seeds. I don't know what if I'm going to get sweet or savory on this. All the ones that have like a lighter color all have been tasting the same. All the ones with the darker color all just kind of taste like chocolate. This one just tastes like a frosted sugar cookie. By the way, I kept Dr. Josh's comment up here because I wanted to make sure I congratulated him and gave him a cowbell because his team, BTC Elite, came in second at the Cross Club Championships. I saw that on Instagram. So congratulations, Dr. Josh. What a great performance for you guys. A solid showing for the team. And I also saw, I think, was Bromco was running on the Masters team, I think. And so they had, I think, BTC Masters came in third in the championships as well. So solid showing for you guys. Great job out there. I really wish I could have gone to that race. I think that would have been a very fun one. Go watch. Yeah, that last one just tastes like a sugar cookie, a very dry sugar cookie. But I haven't eaten lunch yet, so I'm starving, and all these are really good. Very, very sweet, though. All right, Dad Runner Al says, Yoko and everyone, looking for a cheaper water repellent windbreaker until I can afford a proper packable ultra jacket. Decathlon? I think Decathlon's a good choice. I would look at like a water repellent windbreaker. I'm trying to think. I've had some good luck with stuff at Uniqlo. It's not always like super running specific, but it's kind of like sporty. And you can usually find some good deals there for stuff that is water repellent. It might not necessarily be the most breathable, but they do have some like water repellent. Like one of my jackets that I usually only wear it like around casually, but sometimes like it's very, very water repellent. It's like a raincoat. And sometimes I'll run with that when it's like in that like it's 35 degrees and raining. I'll put like a warmer layer underneath and then I'm good to go. So that could be another place to look as well. I've had good luck with Beleaf, Baleaf on Amazon. They kind of have a cheap everything. And some of their stuff has been really, I don't think I've tried a waterproof layer or a water repellent layer, but a lot of their stuff has been surprisingly good. I wish that they would tone it down with some of their logos, then I would buy even more of their stuff. But, you know, I don't know. A lot of that stuff on Amazon, they got to like put their logos real big on it. All right. Seatown fan says the Brooks jacket is good for light rain and wind. Brooks has been making some really good like bad weather clothes and like what is it, like the illuminated clothes, like the stuff that like glows in the dark or like highly reflective clothes. They've been making some really good stuff. Dr. Jess says when he goes to the barbershop, he goes, "Hi, yes, I'll have the middle-aged man haircut, please." You know, I wonder if maybe that barber knows how to do like one haircut, his haircut, and that's like the one that he gives everyone. It very well could be. There was a little bit of a language barrier, so that may have something to do with it too. But it was yeah, that's definitely where we were at. Yeah, Zach Bag says, Kofuzi, you can shave your head bald, Dwayne Johnson style, and I think you'd probably look great. No, I don't think so. I used to have like a shaved head for a little bit, like when I was a lot younger, but I just think I have a very weird shaped head. So, like, I think I need a little bit of hair on top just to keep everything normal. Yeah, like it's an oddly shaped head because sometimes like bicycle helmets like is the only thing that I need to have like a large. This last bike helmet I bought is a medium, and I think I might have bought too small a size. But like a medium, if not small, and everything except for head size, I need a large. So it's just if I have a shaved head, it just kind of looks weird. I think sometimes. I don't know. Dad around says the mohawk. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about the mohawk a lot. I talked about it too before. Remember? We'll see. Maybe we'll do that. Ooh, Dr. Sergeant Ray just got his Enda brand daily trainers from Kenya. Super excited. Cool. I'm excited to see what you think about that because I haven't seen a lot of reviews on those. I've reviewed a couple of their shoes now, and I feel like they're getting better. But I also think I don't think I'm their core. I mean, I think I'm their target customer, but the kinds of shoes that they're not making the kinds of shoes that I tend to love. So I really want them to do well. I love like the way that company's set up, but yeah, I'm thinking the next shoe that I might try from them would be maybe one of the Lapetet, which I think is their speed day shoe. I'm gonna try this one. This has nuts on it, but I think we'll be fine. I'll just make sure I clean up really good before my daughter gets home. Yeah, all of these are really just starting to taste the same to me. Shan says, Kopamzi, Hecko, so sorry about your Q1 race schedule. And gosh, New Year's Eve sounds so fun. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about all the races coming up. The downside is, in order to run Tokyo, I have withdrawn from the wait list for Black Canyon. So that 100K that I'd like to run in 2022 is going to have to, I'm going to have to find another one to run some other time. That's the only real downside. But I don't think I've run a race in Florida before. So I'm excited to try that. And just it'll be good to get out and try running across one of those giant bridges. And also just like I think running in Florida in January sounds pretty nice. So I'm looking forward to that. The New Year's Eve event, I think I have to confirm whether I'm into that 5:30 heat or not, but I think hitting that 5:30 is going to be a little bit of a stretch for me. I'm still very much just doing all easy running right now. And if you think about it, that race is in like a week and a half. So there's just not a lot of time, or I guess it's like 2 weeks from now, but not a lot of time to get ready for anything. So, I'm just going to be barely getting my legs back underneath me, but I think it'll be a weird, fun event. I have a feeling there's going to be like a strange Hunger Games kind of vibe to it because I think there'll be dressed up people and then there'll be other people like sweating, doing warm-ups and strides and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I just think that it's going to be like a little bit surreal, or it has potential. I mean, I don't really I can't like recall offhand what the armory looks like from the inside, but I think it'll be an interesting spot. I am going to get to interview. I think I have to double check to confirm, but I think I'm going to get to interview Nick Willis tomorrow and talk a little bit about that. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good way to kind of close out the year and raise some money for a good cause. So, and what the other thing that I'm thinking is for 2022, I think we're going to bring back like the charity runner of the week. And I think that I'm going to use this Tracksmith Foundation event as kind of like the kickstart, like ending 2021 and getting back into 2022, I'll put some money down. I mean, I'm going to get a comped bib, and I think entry to the event, but I think I'm going to put some money down to donate to the foundation, and then we'll start looking for runners to donate money to in 2022 because I think it's time to bring that thing back. So yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be a good way to kind of like hit the ground running, so to speak, in 2022. All right. Leona says Tommy Ribs on the Today's Ritual podcast. Just started listening to it. I was just listening to that too on the way back. On the way out for my run, I listened to Matt Chittum's recap from CIM, and then on the way back, I was listening to the beginning of that podcast, and it's good. It's really good so far. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing that one. I think that's going to be a really good episode, and I think I always want so much more from Tommy Ribs. He's like such a cool guy. I think that Ritual is like the perfect person for him to talk about, his story and what he's been going through. All right, let me scroll down. Here we go. We got super chat from Joe. Thanks so much, Joe, for the super chat. Or from Jay. I'm sorry, I read that too fast. Jay said, "Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much for the super chat." Jay wants to know: do I take supplements such as protein after long runs for recovery? Yes. I usually like to do a recovery drink of some sort after most runs. Sometimes after just like an easy run, I might not do it, but if it's an easy run, like the day after a hard run, for sure I'll do it. If it's after a hard run, for sure I'll do it. So it's pretty much every day. I have a couple of favorites, but generally what I like to see is about like 8 to 10 grams of carbs and like 16 to 20 grams of protein. And then if there's electrolytes in there as well, I think that's an even better bonus because then you're replenishing kind of like everything in one drink. I like to do the drinks or like the shakes because it's easy to get down within a relatively short time after the workout. And sometimes I'm not hungry like right away. Some runs I come back and I'm starving like today, but some runs I come back and I'm like, I don't really feel like eating. I'm just a little bit thirsty. Then it's a good way to get some calories back in, some proteins, some carbs, some electrolytes, get all that stuff back in. I have a couple of favorites. My absolute favorite is the recovery drink from Unived. There's a chocolate flavored one. There's a vanilla flavored one as well. They both have turmeric in it, and it gives it like a weird like kick to it that your body after a while just starts to crave, and I really like that one. Right now, I'm doing Noon Recovery. It's like a lemonade something flavor. It has a weird smell and taste to it, but again, it's kind of like after a while, your body's like, "Oh yeah, that's the stuff I like," and it starts to crave it. I usually don't like repeat a lot of stuff because I like to try all new things, but this is one that I've come back to because I do really like it that much. It's got some like just regular protein, but also branched chain amino acids in it too. So I'm not sure if that really makes a huge difference, but I do find it's something that my body's craving. So I like that. Also, what works is I do think that milk actually does work quite well. And someone had recommended Soy Ultra, which is like a soy milk with extra protein in it. And the numbers on that, like, add up really nicely too. So like that's also one that I've been enjoying. But I like the powders because they're lighter. So like I walk my groceries home, or like when things get shipped, it's less stuff to ship. So I like things that are powders. Joey Del Rosario says, a guy at work told me some runners develop a large heart from the years of training and some athletes have health complications because of it. Is this true? I'm not a cardiologist, so I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't sound true to me. And if anything, I would think that you would develop a large heart, that'd be the opposite. So if you think about like COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it develops and it gives you basically a large heart because your heart isn't very healthy. And so it has to like compensate and it just gets kind of swollen and also bigger. And it's just not good for you because you're not in good health. And so when you become a runner, your heart gets more efficient. Your body gets just better at doing what it needs to do in terms of circulation. So your heart is working easier, I would say. than it does for like someone who's doing no exercise. So that's kind of my take on it. I could have some of that biology wrong and physiology wrong and pathology wrong for sure. But my take would be I would anticipate that the results in general will be the opposite of that. So usually when people are trying to discourage you from running, they say the knees thing. This is kind of the first time I've heard the heart thing. Yeah, Jason Dahl says people who don't run usually also tell me that running is terrible for the knees too. Yeah, which I also don't think is necessarily true. All right, but Joey, I would say if you're concerned about it, that's a really good question to bring up next time you're at the doctor for a checkup. And if anything, if someone is pretty sedentary, you don't necessarily have to get out there and run right away. You can do a lot of walking, walk with your family or walk by yourself, whichever one's going to give you more peace. Do that and set that up as a routine. For me, when I talk to people who are looking to start running or having a hard time continuing running, I'd say, don't worry about the running. The running part takes care of itself. Build the habit of getting out for exercise. Once you figure out a way to routinely carve out that time for yourself to get that exercise in, whether it's walking, hiking, riding a bike, running, whatever it is, then whatever activity your body enjoys the most for movement wise, you'll figure that out. And then you've already got the habit of carving and setting aside that time. And that's the trickiest part. So I hope that that answers your question a little bit, Joey. If you have any follow-ups, let me know. All right. Vietnam says chocolate milk and nuggies for me for recovery for me. That sounds actually really delicious. It sounds like something the baby would want to eat for dinner. It's funny. It's always a negotiation with her when it's like, what would you like to drink for dinner? I don't know why I ask her. I should just give her water because that's what I want to give her with dinner. But I always ask her what she wants for dinner. She says chocolate milk. And I say, no chocolate milk for dinner. It's too late for chocolate milk. And she'll say, regular milk? And I'll say, no, I don't think regular milk's good. How about water? She goes, okay. So that's what we normally do. So I think that's funny that you said chocolate milk and nuggies. Adam Fear says he eats nuts and real food after a run. Yes. I mean, I think that's better. I just think that, it's taking in those nutrients and the way that your body is like designed to take them in, I think probably is preferable. But from a practical standpoint, or maybe from a laziness standpoint, that doesn't always work out for me. So that's why I kind of like to have the drink as well. And then a lot of times, even if I have breakfast like right after a run, let's say I've got some eggs, got some toast with some sun butter or some almond butter, and I feel like that's a good amount of like sugars and proteins. Then I'm just like, well, now I got a little extra. I don't think at any point I've ever gotten too much protein in my diet, or at least not as a runner. So I feel like, it's a nice little kind of like extra bump is how I see it. All right, let's scroll down a little bit. All right, Kit says, I remember you said the cold weather drains your energy in your run. Do you get allergy symptoms too from running in the cold? I get them. I was wondering whether you get them too. No, I don't get allergy symptoms, but I feel like my body will definitely let me know during the run when my body's feeling run down. So like now that I run year round, I'm very, very aware of when my body needs a little bit of rest. And it usually happens like after the holidays because we've been doing a lot of traveling, getting off of schedule and routine, maybe staying up later than I normally do, but still also getting up early to run and stuff like that. So I'll definitely can tell when that happens. I do want to say though, like this spring and summer, like my daughter had a real hard time with her seasonal allergies, and I felt like I had a bit of a hard time too. Just I felt like I couldn't catch my breath for a little bit. Not that I mean that's not the right way to put it, but I just felt like there was just something just a little bit off, and so that happened. But I don't know if that is related to like what was going on with my daughter, or if just the air quality wasn't great for a while. I'm not sure, but no, I don't think I get allergy-like symptoms from running in the cold. I'm trying to think. I mean, my nose will go crazy because you're going from, dry heat inside to dry cold outside, and then I'm running with like a neck gator on, so that's very humid in there, but cold on the outside. So lots of different temperatures and humidities that happen in a short amount of time, relatively speaking. So my nose usually kind of goes crazy. But I wouldn't really describe that as allergy symptoms, or maybe that is. All right, Dr. Josh coming in with some super tips. Says, ideally post-workout from essentials of strength training and conditioning. You want 70-ish grams of complex carbs and 10-ish grams of simple carbs and 20 grams of protein. Let me see. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting enough of the carbs then. I usually shoot for about that many of the protein, but I guess I need to get more sugars in, or I guess just eat more foods. I think that's probably it. I just need to eat more food. I don't, I'm definitely, I think I'm getting better, but much too slowly. I think I need to really shape up in the diet and nutrition kind of area. And Dr. Josh says a lot of stuff on the market is underdosed. Well, if you need to get 70 complex carbs and 10 simple carbs, then yeah, I'd say you're right. You're definitely right. All right, I missed a super chat down here. We go from Alexis De Prato. Thanks so much for the super chat. Says, hello, what's your favorite daily trainer for easy run and daily trainer for faster run? Or maybe one doing both. Thanks. I would say currently favorite daily trainer would be Novablast 2 or the Mach 4. The Novablast 2 is from ASICS, the Mach 4 is from Hoka. Both of those can be used on a little bit faster runs, depending on how much faster you mean. But if you want more of like a speed day shoe, I really like the Hyperion Tempo or the Endorphin Speed. I think those are great. If it's going to be much faster or a very long run with speed, then I might also reach for a carbon fiber plate shoe. All right, we're going to try this one here. It's the white chocolate with just chocolate chips on top. We'll go with this one. See how that one is. Everything's kind of had like a fruitiness to it. I don't know if it's just the dried fruit that's on that one that's kind of like permeating the box, or if there's just maybe they're putting like a drop of fruitiness in all their white chocolate. I'm not sure. Looks like we got Seek Your Elite here. So good day, everyone. Good to see you. Michael Cheng is here as well, coming in from Toronto. Awesome. Brandon Lewis just got the booster jab. All right, good job. Take it easy today, but you just got it today, and probably tomorrow too. But then after, well, I think I was only out for one day, really, maybe a day and a half. So maybe you might be able to get back on the second day. But thanks for getting that. Hopefully you have an easy course of it, and then you'll be good to go. All right. Brendan, what's going on? Brendan says, myself and a couple of buddies went to Whistler, British Columbia, right? Whistler, BC, for an Ironman. He did the half and they did the full. And in the special needs bags, my friend put some Jack Daniel's shots. They're hardcore. That's one way to do it. There you go. I feel like I might actually kind of really like that. I mean, like for me, it'd be like after that swim, I'm like, I just had 3 near-death experiences. I need some whiskey to calm my nerves. That's how I would think about it. Speaking of a half Ironman, did anyone? I don't think I've checked Instagram yet today. Did anyone see how Megan J. Murray did on her half Ironman? I was talking to her at TRE, and I was like, Megan, I think you're going to accidentally end up with a pro card in the triathlon. And she's like, no way. I don't want to do that many triathlons. And I have a feeling she's going to be really good at it. I haven't seen her swim before or ride a bike, but from the way that Thomas is describing her cycling and her swimming, I mean, she's already a fantastic runner. I feel like that might be something that, like, kind of one of those people that just accidentally becomes pro at stuff. I have no idea what it takes to get a pro card in triathlon, what kind of times that would mean, but I feel like if anyone could kind of accidentally become a pro, it would be Megan J. Murray. All right. Apple and Journey says flying to Phoenix this weekend for the first 50K. Crave Creek. Awesome. Well, good luck. You'll have to let us know how it goes on Monday next week. Give us the race report from the 50K. Cave Creek. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look that up. Adam says, at the USATF Club Cross Country Champs Saturday in Tallahassee, they did just drug testing for top 2, even for 60 plus. Nice. It took the top 2 60-year-olds 3.5 hours to get enough urine with a monitor following them around everywhere. That is a fantastic story. I love that story. That's amazing. Those 60-year-olds have been, I think, drug tested more than Noah Draddy. I think I've heard. I think I'm remembering that right. I feel like Noah Draddy was on like the Clean Sport Collective podcast, and he was like, "I've never been drug tested." I can't remember if it's I've never been drug tested or I've never been drug tested out of competition. I can't remember which one he specified. So if it was I've never been drug tested out of competition, that's a little bit different. But that's amazing. I really want to do well enough in something that I get drug tested. And I feel like if I stick around with these USATF Masters events long enough, maybe I too can one day achieve an accolade worthy of a P test. That's amazing. That's awesome. All right. Let's see. Luke Klein says, "Ooh, what is that? A bar?" These things that I'm eating today for the mukbang are these little, like, basically biscottis that my wife got from her work for a holiday gift, and she didn't want them. Well, she tried one or two, and she's like, "I've had enough." And I was like, "I'll eat the rest of that box." And I didn't eat the rest of the box. I mean, I feel like I've done a decent job here in the last 40 minutes, but I'll eat a couple more. But it's really just starting to feel like I'm eating a bunch of sugar cookies. And with that being said, let's go after this one here, which is chocolate with just some rainbow sprinkles on it. You know, my children know this very well, but I'm not a huge fan of sprinkles. And the main reason for that is I don't like it when things are different colored but taste the same. So like M&Ms bother me because they're all different colors and the colors mean nothing. They're just irrelevant. They're just random. So I do like chocolate sprinkles because chocolate sprinkles taste like chocolate. But like rainbow sprinkles, I feel like it's a missed opportunity that they don't taste like anything except sugar. But I suppose if you like rainbow sprinkles, that's all you really care about. I just ate something that was not part of this biscotti. It was part of another biscotti. And it was a piece of broken candy cane. And I do not really like candy canes. It's stuck in my teeth now, too. You know what? That piece of broken candy cane caught me by surprise, and now it's making my stomach turn a little bit. Whoa. 5 Button says, I think that's how you say that. Do you wish you had a warm beverage with those biscotti? I got some coffee, some afternoon coffee. That's about it. The coffee's helping a lot. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more because I'm still just way behind you guys. All right, Matthew Larder says, I'm 8 months out from my first marathon and ran a 15K goal race pace, 8-minute miles for 3:30 goal. Okay, there you go. That's good. Yeah, and you got 8 months out from the first marathon. You got plenty of time. That's good. Let's see, 8-minute mile for 3:30 goal, 15K. Well, how hard was it to run that 15K at the goal race pace? I mean, that didn't feel like an all-out effort for that to run that 15K, right? It might have felt hard, and that's okay because you still got 8 months out, and it's your first marathon, so you still got plenty of time, and your improvement will be exponential as you get there. But yeah, that's good. I was listening to Matt Chittum's podcast today, and he said he was looking for a marathon for next year because he wants to be like a regular marathoner. He says, and then he was saying that he wants to do one in the spring, but he won't do grandma's because I was thinking just do grandma's, do grandma's. It's a lot like CIM, which he enjoyed, I think. It's in June, but he said he doesn't want to do grandma's because he wants to do another fall marathon, and he thinks June would be too close to the fall. But I'm like, that's a really long training block. I don't know. I don't like really long training blocks, but I guess I always complain that my training blocks aren't complete enough. So maybe I got that wrong, but I don't know. It seems like a long time. But like at this point, Matthew, I would say 8 months out, I would just keep working on consistency and getting that mileage up. I wouldn't worry too much about race paces yet. You got a lot of time to worry about that, but not yet. Oh, Matthew didn't finish the question. There's more. I gotta find it. Where is it? Dr. Joe says, I think I'm gonna do grandma's. I think I'm gonna do it too. I was actually about to sign up. I had my credit card out and everything the other day. I got the green light from my wife, and I just never signed up for it. But I think I'm gonna sign up for it. We should do a shakeout, a group shakeout before that. If you want, you'd have to slow down for us, Dr. Josh. But I think that's enough for the biscotti for now. That was a lot. That was a lot of biscotti. Dr. Josh says he was going to do Eugene, but the brothers are getting married that day. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a marathon on the suburbs with my running buddy on that day, same day as Eugene marathon. So I won't be able to do that one. So I am looking at grandma's right now. So maybe I'll just go get that booked. Frank says, how many weeks between grandma's and Chicago? Chicago is usually like around the 10th or 11th. Sometimes it's as late as the 13th, I want to say. And then however many that is between June. I think this year grandma's like June 19th or 22nd, somewhere there. So you've got all of July, all of August, all of September, and then pretty much a taper. So like 3 months. So that's going to be like probably 14 weeks, 15 weeks. So something like that. So there's a lot of time in there. Michael Cheng said, would you ever do a run in Toronto or Canada? If I were to do a run, it would probably be in Toronto. I mean, my wife and I want to just go in without the kids, a vacation, like just spend time in Toronto. It's been on our list for a long time. We just haven't been able to make it out there. But I was like, but then I got to think, I got to figure out when the Toronto marathon is, or maybe there'll just be some other race, or maybe not even a race, just do a weekend. Maybe we'll do even a longer run. I think I follow a lot of Toronto runners on Instagram, and it always looks like it's very pretty there. So there's water to run around. So I feel like my kind of city. So definitely do want to come out to Toronto. I just don't know when that's going to be. I just got to get it on the calendar though. Kurt says, I need to figure out my plans for next year. Problem is I want to run track races, cross country, some marathons, maybe a couple ultras. Oh, I'm in trouble. I know exactly what you mean, Kurt. That's how I'm thinking too. Like I was going over like the full calendar with my wife about a week or two ago. And she's like, so you're traveling like every month. And I was like, well, May, that race is just in the suburbs. I don't have to travel for that. In Chicago, I'm not traveling. And she's like, that really doesn't count. And I was like, you're right. Because Chicago's be really super busy, even though it is local. So next year's going to be crazy. And then, like, I'm already like, oh, I didn't even put any ultras in there yet. I don't know when I'm doing that 100K. So I got to figure something out. I didn't really want to have to do 100K in like June when it's like super hot everywhere. So, but I think that's what's going to be ending up happening. So yeah, it's going to be, I mean, what you mean trouble though, Kurt? It's good. It's good. It's a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's all that means. All right. Matthew says for the follow-up, he says he's still working on the endurance because the long runs are still very slow. I'm happy that the pace is achievable if I can run the 15K comfortably, zone 3 with 8 months to prepare. Yeah. I think that's a good spot to be in for now. And then again, it's a good, I think it's a good confidence builder to be able to run that 15K, not at threshold pace, not at a race pace, but in zone 3. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. But then, just keep working on, and if your long runs are still very slow, doesn't matter. That's what they're supposed to be. They're just supposed to be easy and working on building that aerobic base. So that way, that race pace can come even lower down into that zone 3. So that's what you kind of want. So there you go. I think that's good, Matthew. All right. Seatown Fans says, do one in the Pacific Northwest. See, the thing is, my concern about the Pacific Northwest is every time I think about running in the Pacific Northwest, I think about like Ginger Runner videos where everything's just like crazy elevation and also slippery. So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm a little bit intimidated by that. But I guess I'll just have to look. I'll have to look a little bit more at the calendar. Like my criteria for picking races is I want to do a Western States qualifying run that's 100K. So that kind of like severely limits like the number. I don't want to do a 100-miler. I think that's too much for me at this point. I'm not saying I never do one, but it's too much for now. And I don't want to do a 50 because I'd rather than just jump up to 100K. So like I'm looking at 100K and trying to figure out ones that would get me, if I completed it within the given, like the certain amount of time, would get me a lottery ticket for Western States. So that's kind of like the longer term other goals as well. Because otherwise, I could do 100K. I think there's a lot of them kind of in the area, but that wouldn't get me kind of like the other goal that I would want to get out of the 100K. And Matt says, don't forget to add the try to your schedule. Yeah, I've got August kind of like blocked off for the Chicago Triathlon again, but I'm also like, well, maybe I would want to try one somewhere else. So maybe that would be kind of fun too, to like get a different experience, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to do more than one this year. Maybe. I think I probably need to get 2 in, maybe do one that's shorter, because I do like how that kind of works, especially in the summer months. So then rather than like killing myself on super long runs when it's the hottest part of the year, I'm instead in the pool. It's pretty nice, or on the bike. It's a pretty nice way to kind of like beat the heat, in my opinion. So while still maintaining a good, aerobic endurance base, and also some power too. So it's like, I do like it. Just got to figure out, well, is there one in maybe July that I would want to do? I'm not sure. Plus, then I also have some other plans that I'm working on that are not exactly race related, but would be YouTube channel related, for potentially June, and a different one in July and a different one in August. So that also kind of like, it's, lots of things that I gotta kind of like have to juggle a little bit until other plans start to become a little bit more solidified. So, it'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise, I guess. Kurt says, oh, and he says he's considering seeing if he can get to the mile on New Year's Eve. Am I doing general admission one or a table? I think that, well, I don't know. It's because I think it's going to be comped by Tracksmith. So I think that I think that I might be on the infield. I don't know if I'll be on the infield. I'm not doing one of those like gold, silver, bronze packages. So I don't think I'll be doing that, or unless like they throw me into a table, like maybe there's like a sponsor table, and that could be a possibility. But yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm going to be on that one. But Kurt, if you're there, I'll go wherever you are. So we could figure it out. And then we'll hang out, because I won't really know anyone there otherwise. Yeah, I don't think. I'm trying to get Tommy Runs to go. I gotta tell him that I'm for sure going. I'm trying to get Tommy Runs to go as well. I'm guessing like the usual kind of like Tracksmith adjacent people will be there too, so I might see some familiar faces, but I don't know if they would want to hang out with me on New Year's Eve. So I think I'll probably just be a kind of like the dude walking around taking pictures for most of the night. So it'd be good to have some company, Kurt. And I don't think we've met in person, so it'll be good to meet in person. All right. Super Injit says, I'm running my second half marathon in May, first full marathon in October. Awesome. Very cool. He's thinking of taking a modified Hal Hagedorn marathon plan and doing it as a prep for the half in May, and sort of a dry run, and then modify it if needs be, start training for the marathon. Why wouldn't you do a half marathon plan? Because Hal Hagedorn does half marathon training plans too, right? I believe he does. So why not do that? Because I think that by doing the half marathon plan, it'll give you an idea if like the general structure and kind of like the approach that Hal uses is something that works for you. For me, Hal Higdon was a great place to start, but it didn't work for me because it wasn't structured enough. I think it assumed I had more discipline to do things like cross training. Um, than I actually do. And so, like, I took a lot of extra rest days that I shouldn't have taken, or that I probably should have just done a little bit easy running on instead. So there was like certain things like that where I was like, at that phase in my running, I needed a lot more structure than those plans initially gave me. But I, of course, didn't know that until I ended up doing the plan a couple times. So I would say try doing the half marathon plan first, and then adjust as you need to from there. And he says, "Is that a legit approach or is it a stupid thing to do?" I think modifying a plan is not a terrible idea if you know yourself really well. I don't think it's a stupid thing to do either. I mean, maybe it is, but I modify plans all the time. And again, that doesn't mean it's not a stupid thing to do. But I would say that, like, what I like to do these days when I look at a plan is try to do the plan as written first and then modify. But then again, I'm thinking about, no, I don't always do that. So, but I guess I also kind of know what I like. But then I'm not really giving the plan a fair share. And I think I needed to be better about it. But I think the better approach would be, if you're not as familiar with kind of like how your body responds to certain kinds of training, is to try to do the plan as written. And then after that, depending on how it goes, buy into the process and trust it. And then if it didn't end up working for you, think about whether did the plan not have enough time to take? Like, do you just need to run the plan a second time? Or is there something about the plan that doesn't work for you? Maybe it doesn't work for you schedule wise, or maybe it doesn't work for you physiologically. Could be one of the two. So you can kind of look at it that way. Seatown fan says Ryan Clayton might be a good. He would know. He knows about all the races that are, especially in the local-ish area, since he's from a United States travel perspective. He's pretty much next door. Kurt says it might be too close to Chicago, but take a look at the UT Hurricane. It's first week in September. Also gets you stones for UTMB, and in that lottery, yeah, that's a whole different world that I really don't understand yet. But that's an interesting proposition. I guess it would depend on first week in September. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But like, I don't think I'm gonna really be running Chicago for PRs anymore. Just because there's a lot of stuff that I would like to plan to have happen that week since I'm local. So, I mean, it might not be a bad idea. It's probably not a great idea, but it'll be fun, I think. I'll have to take a look at it. Hurricane. I'm gonna have to try. I just keep saying it a whole bunch of times. Hopefully, I'll remember it. All right. Wandas2225 says hello from Guatemala. Hello. What's going on? And Michael Chang says, doing a Zwift or a trainer road workout right now? I'm not. I'm thinking maybe after Christmas, I might get a trainer to put the bike on, and then put it where the Christmas tree is over there. And then maybe I'll get back onto Zwift because I do think that getting ready for Tokyo, I will probably incorporate a lot, maybe 2 times a week of being on the bike, just because I think, running in the winter in Chicago can be tough. And so I think that might be something that would be helpful for me, in addition to doing a lot of running outside. So I think I might do that. We'll see. I've never done trainer road before though. Matt says, come out to Los Angeles, Malibu try on September 18th. I never knew that there was a triathlon out there. Not that I knew much about triathlons before this year. But then I was like, then Rich Roll was out there, and he was on a team with, I think it was with Mary Kane and Alexi Pappas in the celebrity division. And then, so I didn't realize that. So it seems like, I mean, not that I'd be in the celebrity division, but it seems like a pretty cool event. It sounds like a lot of actual really fast people go out to that one too, though. Not again that it matters. Yeah. Wanda says, have you experienced runner's knee? Yeah, I have. I experienced it all last year. I made a lot of videos about it. So if you look up like Kofuzi runner's knee, you'll see like a variety of things. For me, I think it had to do with that I was just really weak in a lot of like the stabilizer muscles. both in the knee and also like I was weak in the hips. Some glute activation problems, I believe, also involved there. So I do a lot of mobility work. I do like a little routine before every run now, and that has been enough to kind of keep that at bay. I become very aware of when it's kind of like getting worse, as I get deep into like a training block. So when, under high weekly mileage, it'll start to kind of like flare up. But for the most part, I've been, knock on wood, symptom free ever since I really started working on mobility and strengthening some of the muscles around the knee and hip. All right. Let's do one more. We'll do this one from Matthew, and then I'm going to call it a day. We're at the hour mark. Matthew says, what are the shoes you're most excited to run in next year? And theories on what Nike will release? I think TFXC Shoes on YouTube has put out a really good video on Nike 2022. I think that, he's usually pretty right on in terms of what he sees coming. I don't know if he's getting inside info or if he's just scouring all the rumor sites and condensing it really conveniently for everybody. But I would go look at his videos because he seems to have like pretty good track record, so to speak, with that kind of thing. I'm very excited if there is going to be another turbo. I'm very excited for the turbo. Yeah, like I'm mildly excited about the next Alpha Fly, whatever coming back from like the next percent, like that's all fine. But a new turbo, it actually reminds me a lot of the Rebel version 1. At least from the designs, I know it's going to feel a lot different, but it reminds me a lot of that. The shoe that I'm most excited to run in next year, I think I'm really looking forward to seeing, like all the super shoe updates, Metaspeed Sky 2, Endorphin Pro 3, the SC Elite 3, which will be the first year of the SC Elite, but like the RC Elite 3, which will be called the SC Elite 3. I don't know if we're ever going to see that Hyperion Elite 3. Is that finally coming out in 2022? Seems like they've had it for forever, but I don't know when they're going to release it. So like those are all, I'm interested in all the super shoe updates. But I think of the shoes that are not super shoes that I'm like super interested in, that I think people are going to be like, oh, this is surprising. I'm very curious to see what's going on with the glycerin, because they're going with a nitro-based foam, like in the DNA Loft 3 is going to have nitro in it. So it'll be interesting to see how that works in a max cushion application, at least the way Brooks is going to do it. And it seems like Brooks, I don't know what the drop's going to be on that glycerin, but it seems like Brooks is realizing not everybody loves a 12 millimeter drop. So, that's, I think, something that's exciting that they're like listening. I'm excited to see flight foam in like the entire ASICS line. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what that Tecton X is going to be like from Hoka. I think that's probably going to be my favorite trail shoe of the year. I think, not that I run in that many trail shoes. So it's like, it's my favorite of the 4 I tried, but I think that's probably going to, I have high hopes for it. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't touched, I touched it, but I haven't like put it on feet. So we'll have to see if it's all hype or if it lives up to it. But right now I'm pretty excited about it. All right. That's where I'm going to have to leave it for today, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Tomorrow's video, I'm not exactly sure yet what it's going to be. So it'll be a surprise to us all, but we will do another live stream same time as today. I will have to leave tomorrow a little bit early just to get ready for the interview with Nick Willis, which is going to be happening like right after the live stream. But we will do another live stream tomorrow, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Until I see you again, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.